Welcome to Tiz Takes, sports talk for the casual fan. And here is your host, 1/3 of the partners, your boy Tiz.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's your boy Tiz. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Tiz Takes, sports talk for the casual fan. I'm 1/3 of the partners, your boy Tiz. And for this kickoff episode, I had a few things I wanted to discuss. I figured I'd first of all kind of give you guys a background or an insight on how I got the idea for this show. I'll kind of talk to you about my sports journey, and then I'll get into some of my initial Tiz takes, and kind of lay out the format of the show for the first time. So let's get right into it. I'm your boy Tiz. I'm 1/3 of the partners, and as you probably seen on our channel recently, we've been kind of going through a revamping. We still are, at our heart, at our core, you know what I'm saying, a podcast with three friends separated by distance, connected by brotherhood. But at the same time, what's good, last call? What's good? But at the same time, we also are three individuals with three, separate passions. You've probably seen Faces Burnt, the early series that he started, where he's giving you guys, a lens into the cannabis world. I know Pat is working on some things in the movie and comic book realm. And I'm kind of working on some individual things, and this is one of my things. So how I got the show ideas, I've been wanting to do a show about sports pretty much since we started the podcast a year and a half ago. And I've been, kind of looking at different sports shows and trying to find a format that I felt could fit me. I'm an introvert. I get a little nervous doing these things by myself. So I had to find something that looked like or felt like, okay, that's something I could see myself doing. And I kind of recently saw Skip Bayless's podcast he does. It's just him. He kind of just goes into his personal life, his history around sports, and just kind of looks at things from his own lens. But he just kind of, it's just him. And I was like, okay, I could do that. Maybe I could find a black version of that. So basically this show is going to be kind of a mixture of that and the barbershop. Next episode, I'm definitely going to be dropping links so people can come up on the panel if they have their own sports takes or if they want to debate anything. But it's going to feel like the barbershop, and that's kind of the vibe I want. So yeah, it's going to be a mix of opinion, stats, stories, and debate. Like I said, the panel will be open next episode. But for this inaugural episode, I kind of just wanted to just lay everything out first. I'm going to try to keep this show to 30 minutes or less each time, every week. I don't want to take up a lot of people's time, and I don't know that I'll be having that much to say, unless it's a really pressing topic or something that like sends me on a tangent and has me rambling, or unless the viewers and Pod Squad, has a lot to say on that day. It's going to be pretty much kind of chill. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it 30 minutes or less every show, and I'm gonna try to focus on stories that I actually care about. So it's not always gonna be the trendiest stories or the biggest stories that's in today's news cycle, but it's gonna be stories that definitely resonate a lot with me, and hopefully they'll resonate with you as well. So yeah, that's kind of how the show's gonna work, and that's kind of how I got to this point with the show. I've been a sports fan my entire life. I kind of got started when I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, really, loving sports. So I'm an 80s baby. So 80s and 90s sports pretty much really formulated my entire viewpoint and perspective on sports. I started watching sports with my granny. When I was a little kid, I would come home from, church with her, and we would sit and watch on the black and white TV. And back then, it won't number like 3-4 channels. So it was like Fox, NBC, ABC, and CBS. And at that time, on Sunday afternoon, it was pretty much some type of sporting event on each one of those channels. So I would sit down with her and I would watch sports, and that was kind of how I formulated the teams that I liked. I grew up in Virginia, so we ain't really have any of our own pro teams, so I kind of rocked with whoever she seemed to like, and that kind of formulated my entire viewpoint on sports. So in professional football, she was a big Elway fan. She originally was actually a Colts fan back in the days of Unitas. Um, so the old school Colts before they got moved. Um, so in the 80s though, she started to like Elway. I think she liked his grit, and she would always say that he could come back no matter how much he was down. That never really mattered. He would always come back. So I grew up a Broncos fan because she always liked Elway. So I thought that was the cool team to like in football. I grew up a Braves fan. When we would watch baseball, that was one of the few teams that would actually come through on our stations. We were able to get the Braves. Obviously, we would get the big Yankees game because they were a huge team back then. But the Braves were kind of like one of the few teams that would like be on our TV on a regular. So when we watched baseball, that was who I grew up rooting for. Same thing with college sports. When it comes to football and baseball, if it was a football game on, it was probably the Seminoles, the Gators, or one of the Florida teams, or Notre Dame. Notre Dame always had a consistent slot on TV back then, but she always really liked Deion Sanders. She thought he was cool. She liked the way he was kind of flashy, and that made me be a Florida State fan. So, and she hated the Gators. I don't know what the Gators did to her, but she hated them, and because Florida State always disliked them too, I grew up a Noles fan. When it came to basketball, obviously she was a Jordan fan. She never really liked teams in basketball. She always kind of just liked Jordan. So that was my team. She met him one time, and she thought it was really cool that she was basically half his size. So because she really liked Jordan, I never really formulated a strong bond with any major team. But on the college level, I like UNC just because that was the school he went to, and that was like the only college team I really knew about as far as basketball growing up. So yeah, but in the NBA, I never really had a team. Like I said, she liked Jordan, but for some reason that made me kind of like Jordan. But as I got older, especially in the 90s, as I started to become, an adolescent, I started to like people that played against Jordan. So I started to like Olajuwon. I started to like the Magic, the 90s Magic with Penny and 3D and Nick Anderson. So I kind of never really got stuck on a team. I kind of just liked players. I was a huge Penny Hardaway fan until he got hurt, and then Kevin Garnett kind of came on the scene, and I really liked his versatility. So I started being a huge Garnett fan. And then he retired, and KD was kind of coming up at the same time he was retiring. So I kind of switched. So now I'm a Durant fan. So wherever he go, I go. So that's kind of the history of my sports. As far as my teams, my background in sports is kind of extensive. I played sports a lot as a kid. I played little league sports and middle and high school sports. I've coached in sports and worked as an athletic director pretty much until last year. That was pretty much been my career. So I'm definitely been surrounded by all sports all the time for the majority of my life, pretty much. And yeah, man. So that's kind of my background in sports and how I feel like I'm qualified to talk about sports. I definitely got what's good, Rodney. Oh yeah, man. We were definitely giving up flowers to you the other night, Rodney. I hope you caught that live with T Pre, man. We were definitely giving up flowers to you and some of the brothers, man. That definitely deserve it. So hope you catch that replay. But yeah, man, that's my background in sports, man. I'm really a huge sports fan. I'm one of them guys that'll watch pretty much anything from an NFL game to a game of cricket. I really don't care. I just like the competition. I like the storylines that sports brings. I like the camaraderie of sports. I like the life lessons you can get from sports. So hopefully, the conversations we'll talk about will kind of mix in a bunch of those different aspects. Um, yeah, check that shit out, man. But like you deserve to get that. You varied perspectives on a lot of the brothers in the sector definitely got huge love. So go check that out on T Priest channel, the Black Lounge Divine. Um, but yeah, man. So let's get into some of my tears takes, man. I wanted to definitely talk some sports this week. So let's get into this shit. The first thing I want to talk about is definitely football and the free agency frenzy that's been happening. Obviously for me, I'm going to come from a Broncos fan perspective. My squad definitely tooled up a little bit, but I wanted to look at some. A lot of Broncos fans, out here, we are very excited, but I definitely want to warn us about something. As we tooled up, our division just got a lot tougher at the same time. I definitely think we are looking great. The pickup of Russell Wilson was huge. That definitely set us up really nicely for the next few years at quarterback, and that was our biggest glaring missing piece. I definitely like that we picked up Randy Gregory to strengthen up our defense a little bit. Our defense was definitely already pretty good. It was a playoff level defense as it was, but I definitely like that pickup. I also like that we didn't lose much at the receiving core. Our receiving core I really like. I think Cortland Sutherland is a good possession receiver. I like Patrick and Judy at those deep route and slot positions. I really think that's a huge piece that we got there. KJ Hamler looks good at receiver as well at that slot. He gives us a lot of speed. So Russell Wilson is stepping into a beautiful situation when it comes to outside weapons and pieces that he can dump off to. We were able to pretty much stay consistent at the halfback position. We still got Javonte Williams, which was huge. He played big for us down the stretch last year. And now that we're kind of moving out of the Melvin Gordon phase, he's going to really get a chance to shine. And I really do see him as a 3-down back, if given a chance. And the system that we run, I like him as a 3-down back, but spelling him from time to time just to give him rest so we don't overwork him in his first full year as a feature back. On defense, we're looking amazing. Draymond Jones, we kept him. We still got Bradley Chubb, and like I said, we got Gregory to go on the outside with him. We're looking beautiful back there at the cornerback position. I actually like Ojemudia and Pat Surtain. I only think he's going to get better in this next year as he's coming into his own. I love Darby as that off corner on the other side of Surtain. Justin Simmons is still a high level safety, and I think Kareem Jackson. I actually like Stearns coming up behind Kareem Jackson, but I think Kareem is gonna, give us a good year. As we continue to work Stearns and kind of work him in more and more. But I think we're looking really good. We definitely are looking loaded. But the thing that scares me is as we loaded up an already stacked division, like I'm willing to go ahead on a limb and say we are in the most competitive division in football right now. We look like the NFC East used to look back in the day, or the NFC West was looking the past few years, like the mid 2010s. We look like that right now. Every team is crazy. The Chiefs, they definitely downgraded a little bit in losing Tyreek, but don't think that they're still not loaded. They picked up Valdez-Scantling. I think that's not necessarily the hugest pickup, but it definitely keeps them kind of solid in that receiving realm. What's going on, Glorion? Peace, Queen. Mecole Hardman still gives them a deep threat. Picking up Juju is mean at the slot. That's a mean little dump off, and playmaker for when things break up and Mahomes gets to get out of the pocket. That's a nice little piece there to have to dump off to. They're running back with Edwards-Helaire. I still have questions about him. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm hoping that they pick up a little bit more depth there, maybe in the draft. But I'm still have questions there. Kelsey obviously is huge still. He's gonna do what he does. But on defense, I'll be honest, they don't really scare me that much. Tyrann Mathieu being a free agent is scary for them. That's a huge loss in the secondary. Already not necessarily strong secondary. Like they're kind of mediocre, middle of the road. And he kind of gave them a lot of versatility back there, being able to play corner or either one of the safety positions as they felt to move him. But I think that's kind of brings them down to earth a lot. The fact that they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. So Mahomes is we're definitely going to see what he's really about this year. But when you look at the Raiders, my damn God, you got the best receiver in football. And yes, I'm willing to say that Davante Adams is the best route runner, the best one-on-one when it goes to jump ball. He can run after the catch. Like, he's pretty much the do-it-all guy. Like, he is that man. Mama, there goes that man. They got him. They keep Renfro. They keep Waller. They still got Jacobs and Drake in the backfield, which gives them a lot of versatility, a nice 1-2 punch. I like Drake's ability to catch out of the backfield and give them a lot of spread looks. And Jacobs can give you that between the tackles action. And then on defense, man, they got Chandler Jones on one side, and then they get Max Crosby on the other side. You got a nice secondary looking. I like Mullen. I like Hobbs. Yassine is not horrible. The safeties do give me a little question. I like Abrams, but I'm a little question on Morick. I don't know on that. And their linebackers could use a little bit of work, but they're solid on defense. Like, they have a defense that, if Coach Wright can play up and can give you a hell of a playoff run this year. And then in this same division, you look over and you got the Chargers. The Chargers are scary. Oh, yeah, and on the Raiders, I forgot to mention, you got Carr teaming back up with Adams, so you got chemistry out the wazoo off day one. And then you look at the Chargers. You obviously know quarterback, amazing. One of the top 6 quarterbacks in the league with Herbert. Their receiving game is still looking good. You still got Keenan Allen in the slot. You still got Mikey Williams. You still got Guyton. You still got Palmer. The O-line ain't horrible. The running back, you got Eckler, who is super solid. You got Kelly backing him up. You got Bosa and Khalil Mack, 2 of the best edge rushers in the game. Quarterbacks, beware. Their cornerbacks, you got Asante Samuel Jr. and Michael Davis, solid at corner. You got Derwin James back there at safety. So you got a hell of a damn safety. And you got Tranquil in your linebacking core. So your linebackers are solid. Like, the Chargers could be the talk of this division. I really do think that whoever wins the AFC is going to come out of this division. I think the Broncos, my squad, I think we definitely got a lot to say about it. Russell is huge. Getting a top 5 quarterback to put with and to not really lose much of anything else, that's huge. If we can maybe solidify our offensive line in the draft, that's going to be huge. And it'd be cool to maybe get a young tight end to kind of start grooming after the loss of Fant. But other than that, man, we're looking pretty solid. The NFC, I'm going to talk about them next week. Um, I'm going to talk about the NFC West, since I talked about the AFC West. Um, but they're looking kind of loaded over there too. Um, but they got a lot of young people that they need to kind of work on. So yeah, man. Denver is looking kind of great. I think we still beat our division. Um, but it's gonna be tough, man. We're either gonna be number one in our division or we're gonna have to fight for a wild card. But I believe two teams out of our division go to the playoffs this year. So it's gonna be pretty scary. But yeah, if I had to guess, I would think it'll be us and the Chargers. Um, I think we are the two most well-rounded teams as far as top to bottom on offense and defense. So it's gonna be a dogfight, man. But yeah, so let's move on to some NBA talk. Like I said, I want to try to get this hit this 30 minutes or less here. And the NBA, I wanted to kind of give y'all my final four take. Right now, if you look at the playoff standings, um, my Durant led Brooklyn Nets. We holding on. We're looking like a play-in team. Um, hopefully we can fight for that 7th seed. But I actually have, unfortunately, man, if I'm being objective, I have coming out of the East. I'm looking at it being between Milwaukee and Boston, and I'm looking at Boston pulling the upset and coming out of the East. I think Philly, they'll probably face Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't see Philly being mentally on the page to do much. I don't trust Harden in the playoffs. Harden is not shown me much other than being a front runner. So we're gonna see what happens. What up, sexy toy lady? Hey man, don't trip, man. These notifications, I told y'all we shadow banned, man. They don't like us, and it's all good. But yeah, man, like I don't see Philly being mentally tough enough. I like Embiid. Don't get me wrong. I think Embiid is going to do his thing. But when you get to the playoffs, especially the way teams are built, you're going to need 2 to 3 scorers. I don't see Tobias Harris being consistent enough to give you what you need to beat a team like Boston. I also don't see Harden showing up. He's shown me nothing in any playoff run that shows me that all of a sudden he's going to be your savior when it comes time at crunch time. He's amazing during the regular season. If you're front running, he's going to give you 30 and 10. It's going to look real nice then. But when we actually get to the playoffs, he freezes up. You know what I'm saying? Skip Bayless like to always talk about LeBron freezing up in the playoffs, but it's Harden that it shrinks the most in crunch time. He I don't know what happens to him, but when that court shrinks, he gets out of his element, and he all of a sudden his tricks don't work no more, and he has nothing else to go to. So I got Boston coming out of the East, man. My heart wants to go with Brooklyn, obviously. That's my squad, but I gotta be honest, man. Boston has the most well-rounded team, and Jason Tatum to me is arrived. He's showing up as the superstar that he should have been. And I don't see too many people stopping them. If they get healthy, especially, they are playoff tested. They know what it takes, and they have the firepower to actually go against anybody that they face. So I'm gonna have Boston coming out of the East. On the Western side, I think that's the most muddled because you have the most even teams. Phoenix obviously looks scary, but the biggest question mark for them is Chris Paul's health down the stretch. He has a history of getting hurt, especially in the postseason. And I don't know that he holds up as he's older again this year. Golden State, they have the ability to get hot, But I actually got a dark horse Memphis coming out of that side of that bracket. I think it's going to be them against Denver, and I got Memphis. Yeah, I got Memphis taking that. And then if I'm looking at the other side, Dallas is scary. Your boy Luka, he's looking more and more like Bird every day. This past month, he's played out of his damn mind, and they have the ability to get hot, but I don't see them beating Phoenix. I think Phoenix wants it more, and Devin Booker is the most underrated player this season. Book has been consistently going the fuck off. He's led them afloat when CP was been out. When CP's been there, he's still been putting up buckets, giving you numbers. He's turned into more of a facilitator this year, which has been cool to see. And I think that's gonna come in handy when we get to the playoffs. Their defense is getting better. And they're quietly running teams out of there. Like they're not, beating teams by 2-3 points. Like they're catching wreck. So if it comes down to Memphis and Phoenix, man, my heart says Memphis. So I'm gonna go ahead and step out on a limb. That'll be my tears take my out on the limb pick. But I think logic says Phoenix is gonna take it. But I really like Memphis, man. They're a young team and they are fucking loaded. Like Ja Morant or not, like they just have a lot of good basketball players. And I don't mean superstar players. I mean players that can just go out and no matter what team you put them on, they're gonna play well. Like they can fit into any system. They got versatile defenders. They got players that aren't scared of the moment, which is huge when you got a young team. And I think that as long as they keep that grit about themselves and that not shrinking away from the moment, but like really leaning into it, they can pull it off, man. Like they got the firepower, they got the lineup to really give teams problems on the inside and on the outside. And if Morant is healthy, he's arriving, man. He's a lot of people call him the face of the league. I really see it. Like when him and Zion came out, I always said that Ja was the real star that season. Zion got all the hoopla. Obviously, he was the media darling, the social media guy. He was a little bit more marketable. But when it comes to playing basketball, Ja Morant plays basketball well. He understands the game. He sees the game well. He knows where to pick his spots. He knows how to set his teammates up. He's a superstar that knows when to take over, but he also knows how to not be selfish. Like that, there's no ego with him. It's just about winning. He's willing to put in the work. And if you watch his game from college to now, you can see it slowly and surely, like getting better and better. He's improving as he goes, which shows me work ethic. Zion about to get up out of here. I worry about him. He's one of them players that can either go Barkley or he can go Oliver Miller. He can either, get it together and become one of the top 50 players all the time, or he can become the biggest bust all time. You know what I mean? Like, and I worry about the people around him. I don't know that his handlers are necessarily in it for him so much as they're in it for them. So I don't know what people are telling him, but if I was his homeboys or if I was his, his managers and agents and stuff, I would definitely have him on a different plan than what he's on, because he can play and he can his body to frame, if he can sustain at about 275, but it be muscle and not fat, he can play. He gonna be fine, but he has to maintain that. If he wants to actually he can get fat after he get out the league. He can go ahead and go to Shaq route and put his hush puppies on and do his thing. But if he really wants it, he's gonna have to be overly dedicated to his body like LeBron is. Like he's gonna have to be super focused and use a lot of that big contract to go ahead and pay a chef and a nutritionist and do it the right way. But yeah, Um, out of that class, he's definitely the biggest disappointment. Everybody else has kind of lived up to what we thought they was going to be. Morant probably is overplayed what people thought he was going to be. I definitely always knew he was going to be this. I'd actually like to see Morant put on a little bit more muscle though. For the way he plays, he's going to have to go through kind of that Jordan overhaul, where he takes all season and just really works on some strength training. He's going to have to add about maybe 5 to 10 pounds of a muscle just to be able to sustain his play style, because he takes a lot of beating going to the paint. So, but yeah, I got Memphis going against Phoenix. My heart says Memphis, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick on that limb. But it's probably gonna be Phoenix. So one of those two teams will end up playing Boston in the NBA championship this year, and that's my take on it. We're gonna stamp it here. Y'all can go ahead and put mark the time stamp on it. But that's my take on that. And then my last Tiz take of the night, man. Tiz take. Tiger Woods' master spectacle is a microcosm of the issue with the old guard in sports and in our country. Our wish for the old times to come back is preventing us from progressing. We got to realize we are not going to get the old times back, okay? We have progressed too far as a society to the point that like the old times are becoming obsolete. We have to face that. In basketball, no. If you want to be honest, players from before 2000 are probably not going to be able to ever beat the people that are playing right now. It's just different. These players are built different. The 12th man right now would dog 80% of the league in the 90s and 80s. We're going to be completely honest about this. Let's stop fooling ourselves. I know we want to live our glory days. Trust me, I'm of the old ilk of I grew up watching Jordan and Magic and Bird. I get it. I get it. I love them too, guys. Elway's my favorite quarterback. But the top 5 quarterbacks of the day would dog his ass. It's just different, okay? That the people of today have had the privilege of learning from everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the people of yesterday. So yes, they're supposed to be better than us. We have to get over it. The goal of a father is to watch his son. The goal of a teacher is to watch their student. The goal of a mentor is to watch their mentee eventually become better than them. That's the goal of it. That's why we pour our knowledge into the next generation. So we got to get the hell out of the way. Tiger Woods ain't going to win no more fucking tournaments, y'all. His back is shot. His knees are gone. He can barely fucking walk over them damn hills. Us praying for him to fucking do this miracle shit is over, champs. The man that ran his car off the road, like he done damn near died a couple times. Like the shit is over, man. All right? Jordan ain't coming out of retirement to beat nobody. He gonna sit down and drink his yak and smoke a cigar. It's over, man. Okay? Gretzky ain't gonna beat nobody in hockey no more. These motherfuckers are better. Okay? Ronaldinho will get smoked by fucking Messi right now. Okay? It's just different. Okay? Like, let's let it go. Oh God. I know we want the good time to roll again, but they done rolled their ass on. They done rolled over, and we gonna get rolled the fuck over if we don't get with it. So long live the new school. Fuck it. And that's been Tiz takes for this week, man. Next week, like I said, we're gonna talk about some of the NFC teams in football. And I got a couple of other different takes that I'll have for y'all. If y'all have anything that y'all want to discuss, bring it to it. I'll have the panel open next week. If y'all want to come up and talk, debate, and shoot the shit. Like I said, this is the barbershop for the fellas and ladies who want to talk sports. All are welcome. All you had to do is have an opinion on sports and bring it here. So yeah, this is Tiz Takes, man. Y'all come through. Kick it with your boy. Thank y'all for coming through tonight. Shout out to Drama. Shout out to Rodney. Shout out to Sexy Toy Lady and Glow. Shout out to Last Call. Anybody that hit it up from the clouds or hit the replay, man. Shout out to y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. New episode of the pod being recorded. I think tomorrow night. So yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna keep it on Saturday nights, man. I'm gonna try to keep it on Saturday nights at 10. If anything changes, I'll have a video update during the week to let people know. But that's my goal. I still got the manhood show that I'm working on. Where we gonna talk manhood topics that I'm working on. Hopefully that'll be on Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. But yeah, I got a couple of things I'm still working on that I laid out on the first show of the new year that I'm still holding myself to. So, but yeah, Saturday night, 10 o'clock. We're gonna try to keep it here, 30 minutes or less, unless y'all got more to say. This been Tiz Takes, man. Love y'all, motherfuckers. Come through next week, man. If y'all want to, if y'all got topics y'all want to discuss, man, hashtag Tiz Takes on Twitter. Hashtag Tiz Takes on Twitter. I'll be checking it out there. And if y'all got questions, topics, anything y'all want to discuss, I'll be looking for them there. Or y'all can just bring it straight to the panel next week. And yeah, man, we see y'all next week, man. We about this motherfucker. Peace.